Good Tuesday morning. A beautiful 90-degree day out there during the All-Star break. And, of course, you've got the All-Star game tonight. You had the home run derby last night. If you're into such things, if you're into Pete Alonso winning, it didn't happen. So I'm sorry for all the Mets fans that were looking for some sort of victory this season. It did not happen for Pete. There was a little bit of news yesterday concerning the Yankees with Sean Casey being named the hitting coach. So we'll get to that, plenty more, and how Boomer screwed me this morning by putting on a Casamigos jersey that I was supposed to wear as well, that he claimed that he didn't have, and then all of a sudden he waltzed in with the jersey on saying, "Where is your jersey?" And I said, "You didn't have the jersey, and you never told me you got the jersey. We were supposed to wear it together today for the All-Star game, and now I've got my golf shirt on as opposed to the jersey, and the whole thing got screwed up. And I asked you to take it off, and I said, how can we wear it tomorrow together? And you said, no, tonight's the game. I'm going to wear this and make you look like the jerk." Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, G. I'm not trying to make you look like a jerk, but I just have to say, again, with the golf has gotten you so out of whack because you can't even think about wearing this jersey and then changing out of it into your golf shirt after the show.
That's right.
I mean, which is what I am planning on doing because I'm not wearing this to go play golf today.
No, I understand, but that was the other part of it was I was like, well, we're playing golf today. Like, I don't want to bring a change of clothes and everything else. I have a T-shirt, the jersey, and the whole thing.
You just said it's going to be 90 degrees.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You're not bringing a change of clothes to take a shower after we play?
I do have a shirt. I have another.
You're going to sit there and you're going to stink as we eat after we're done?
I have another shirt in the car, yes. But it's not the jersey.
All right. Listen, you asked me if I got the jersey yesterday. I said, no, I hadn't gotten it yet. You had gotten it and that you were going to wear it today because tonight was, the All-Star game.
I said I was planning on wearing it if you had it.
Casamigos has a very big presence in the All-Star game, as they have had in every other sport since, of course, the success they've had with us, of course. It has to start somewhere. Yeah. Maybe it started with Big Mike. I don't know. Who knows?
Oh, of course it did. It was Well, it started with when Lee had Grey Goose back in the day. And Mike used to do the Grey Goose reads. Remember that?
Is that what it was? Okay.
It was like Grey Goose L'Orange. I remember driving around listening to Grey Goose L'Orange, Grey Goose Pear, Grey Goose, regular Grey Goose L'Orange. But that's where it started.
All right. So here we are. I get the jersey yesterday.
Yep.
Figuring that you obviously knew that I would get it.
Why would I obviously know that?
He always sends you first.
Well, I don't.
And then I get the stuff second, whatever it is. Could be one of the shot glasses, could be the tumblers, it could be the boots, it could be the reposado, whatever it is. It always goes to Sayville first.
Yeah.
And then it comes to me.
Yep.
That's all. That's all. And so I got it yesterday. I figured, okay, G's going to be happy. I'm going to wear it tomorrow morning and
you could have texted and said, I did end up getting it today. You could have done that. And then I would have put it on. You could have. You left me up to assuming that it was going to be there as opposed to telling me.
You told me you were wearing your jersey. And I said, you know what?
This is the way it went.
Why don't you wear your jersy even if I don't get it? You can wear it.
I said, no. I was planning on wearing it for the game, but no, I'll wait till you get yours. That's what how the conversation ended.
All right, well, it ended. I'm wearing the jersey. I'm happy. You look like a nut job, and you're acting like one. So don't let it affect your performance today.
Oh man, I was all bummed out when I saw you wear that jersey. I was like, damn it. Now I'm gonna look. I'll wear it later in the week, and I'm gonna look like the guy, like I'm the sloppy seconds guy now. Now I'm gonna have to wait till like you're off one week, and I'm working to wear the jersey to make sure it doesn't look like I'm glomming off of your stuff.
All right, stop obsessing over it, please. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So, I'm watching a little bit of this home run thing last night.
Oh, my God. Were you?
I was a little bit. I had to see it. I wanted to see how Pete was going to do. And, of course, he stepped right into a buzzsaw. There was just no way. And, Myers, his pitcher, was just all over the place.
He also lost his pitcher.
That's a big part of it. And there's no question about it. And what's his name? Rodriguez the guy was just laying it right over.
Yeah. 41 home runs, a new record.
That was amazing. I turned it off after that. That was over, and I went back to what I was watching.
Which was what?
I was watching the Netflix documentary on Wham.
Oh, man.
George Michael and Wham.
Of course, yeah.
That's got me written all over it.
Yeah, that was your wheelhouse.
It was right in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah, your wheelhouse. Wasn't it like late 80s in the beginning, too?
Well, they grew up in the 80s, and then in the 90s they became, enormous. There we go. Oh, yeah.
You know, it's funny you bring this up.
Why is that?
This is sort of like a very strange thing because this song, I've said this many times before, nothing gets stuck in my head more than this song. Like now that you have played this will be in my head for like 2 weeks straight, and I had no idea you were going to play it. And Al, what did I just say to you in the break? There's a song now that's on every Instagram and TikTok that it gets stuck in my head now. Every day, all I do is hear it. So now you have now knocked that out of my head and put this back in my head. So all day today when we're playing golf, I'm going to be doing this.
Maybe I'll play this during a round of golf with my Bushnell speaker.
You know how many times I have left my speaker on the golf cart so far this year?
How many?
At least 3 or 4. And then I have to, then the guy at West Sayville, Bobby's like, you left it again. Oh yeah, thanks.
Well, the nice thing is that that has started to happen more and more over the last 7 to 8 years, where people now are playing with music on their golf.
Oh yeah,
cart,
it's all because of LIV, right?
It may be all because of LIV. And speaking of that, very, very interesting day today for the PGA Tour and LIV Golf, as there will be Senate hearings down on Capitol Hill. And Jimmy Dunn, the infamous Jimmy Dunn, will be there talking about this merger and everything else, and whether or not he's going to kill anybody if he finds out that they were a part of 9/11.
Yeah, kill them myself, right? Yeah. It's going to be very interesting. I told Al to get this song. I don't know if you've heard it from he hasn't heard it, but if you are on Instagram and TikTok, this song is everywhere. This is the new one that's stuck in my head. It is absolutely everywhere. All right, you got it, Al. Let's hear. Everybody dances to it, and there's like a Bill Hader meme. Whee! There's been times I've just sat in the car.
Like, who is it?
It's some French woman, and it from 2015.
Oh, she's French,
yeah,
and is what, 8 years old?
Yeah, and it just is now viral everywhere. And all I do is hear it. There's times I'll drive home and just sit in the driveway and just listen to it and bop around. Ooh. And it's made it to into Sayville, like it's now infiltrated Sayville. So we were playing cornhole the other day. And then a guy, sunk one at the end. He goes, ooh! So now it's turned into that. Sunday morning, guy hits a good drive. Ooh!
Martha, right? I better not hear that. I better not hear that this afternoon.
Oh, ooh-wee?
Yeah, I don't want to be hearing ooh-wee.
Listen, if I sink like a 20-foot putt, I'm ooh-weeing my ass off.
Okay. Right.
Ooh-wee! So, yeah, there you go. Those are the 2 songs that have been stuck in my head worse than ever, are those 2 right there. Is the Jitterbug and now this Make-Ba by Jane. And by the way, I did want to say this one thing about baseball and hitting coaches and all that stuff we were going back and forth with yesterday. I still believe that hitting coaches really don't matter all that much. But I will say that Sean Casey being the new hitting coach is really interesting to me, and I think a great idea because I got to know him a little bit. He spent time as a Pittsburgh Pirate, also a Cincinnati Red, and I met him numerous times in Pittsburgh.
He's a great dude.
This is one of those guys.
Yep.
This is not hyperbole. This is not over the top because the Yankees have hired him. I probably said this on the air before. He is one of those guys, when he walks into a room, the whole vibe changes.
Yeah.
It's amazing. He has got this personality that is so infectious and so positive that, like, you leave every interaction with him feeling better than you did before he walked into the room.
Which is why they want him, which is why it's going to be a different approach, which is why, hopefully he's going to be able to kind of unlock some of these guys and get them to be more consistent and have a different approach at the, at the plate. So hopefully it works. And I know that, you were kind of dismissing the fact how important these coaches are.
Well, I don't. I still believe that. I do. I don't think that hitting coaches are the be-all, end-all. But I will say that having Sean Casey in any capacity, now he's never coached before. He's never been a hitting coach, never been any sort of coach. But having Sean Casey in the dugout in any sort of capacity is a good thing.
Yeah, it's like having Phil Nevin around.
Yeah,
You know, it's like having one of these old players around come in, great personality, gets along with everybody. And that's part of it, to loosen up. And you know, sometimes when guys struggle, they grip in the bat too tight.
Yeah.
You know, and there's so much pressure and tension that they end up overthinking things, and maybe this just simplifies things. And hopefully it works. And if it does work, then Brian Cashman will look like a genius. This also, look, he was a former teammate of Aaron Boone. I'm thinking that, you know, Aaron Boone had something to do with this. Like, you know, we got to get somebody else in here that has a different approach, that has a different personality. We got to lighten this place up a little bit. We you know, we're so like Yankee corporate that, you know, where is the personality on the team?
Yes, which is a great point, because they do not have that. And I'm sure if you read some of the stories about the offseason and how they reached out to Sean Casey in the offseason, but his girlfriend was going through chemotherapy treatment and he couldn't take a job at that point, they were thinking about this for a while. So he has these miracle fields too, Sean Casey, where he builds baseball fields that for disabled kids to be able to play baseball.
Oh, look at this.
This guy's the best.
I mean, come on.
He's the greatest
Does
of all
it get
time.
any better? No.
It doesn't get any better than
Now,
that.
what are you doing now? I have coffee.
I heard your coffee had a lot of grounds in it.
Yeah, Martin reported
Here.
that there was a lot of grounds in your coffee.
All right. So
How the hell did he know that?
Well, because he saw it, he knew that there was a problem, and he knew Boomer had a cup full of grounds, so he rectified the situation.
Wow.
It tasted pretty good myself. Hopefully, he didn't spike this or anything.
No,
Yeah, I know.
when you
You know,
got
we always
further down,
engineers, every now and then they get a little. You know.
Yeah, I love the engineers. Let me
Yeah.
just put it that way.
Okay.
But I have seen some engineer strangeness. I have over
There
the
has
years.
been. We do have engineer strangeness,
but not
around
from
here.
Marty.
Not from Martin Travers. No. There was the.
He's ex-Navy. He's
He's tremendous. I've never seen weirdness from him at all. There was that one engineer years back who does not work here anymore, who had a freak out in the newsroom and called us all jock sniffers. It was the greatest thing ever.
Was I here when that happened?
I don't know. It was in Astoria, and something happened in the wire room, and then he came out and screamed. Do you remember this, Eddie? He screamed at us like at the top of his lungs, "You effing jock sniffers!" And then like ran out like it was pro wrestling.
Oh, you know what happened to him? He got bullied or something in high school.
Initials DJ or ME?
Second one, yeah.
He got bullied. That's all I can think of.
Oh man, yeah, that guy could flip. But Martin Travers is great. Look at that.
Well, you know, the engineers, you know, they're always around electricity and stuff. I'm sure they get shocked all the time. And I'm sure that's part of the problem.
Yeah, Martin Travers, by the way, the Sean Casey of the wire room. You know,
think so?
he just
Yeah.
walks in there and the whole vibe changes.
And it did change because he was back there making the coffee.
Yeah, see?
I went back. There was a lot of chit-chat going on in the cafeteria this morning. 4 or 5 people back there. Pete Bellotti back there.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, everybody's yakking away. And I'm like, is anybody making coffee? And Marty goes, I got it.
Is Pete over the Sean Morash departure yet?
I did not get into it with Pete. He seemed like he's relatively happy. He doesn't seem like he's carrying around any sadness with him.
Okay, all right, good. Because I know that he was very, very sad during that time. Could not get through a sentence. Was holding back the tears. And so there's a bond in that control room. There's a bond in here.
Hey. I mean, you NARPs are so emotional. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, you know how it goes. This is like our version. Like you had pro football. This is pro football to us.
I know it is.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
So it's like
I
it's just a
didn't cry
bigger
going
deal.
out of pro football either. Just
Okay.
left. I said, see you later.
You were going to Monday Night Football booth.
Yeah, I know.
And then I got fired from there, and then I really lost my mind. Snapped, as they say.
Yeah. Did you scream, "You jock sniffers"?
No.
No, you didn't do that.
I said ABC stood for Al's Broadcasting Company.
Did you say that publicly?
Yeah. And I also said that he's finally happy. He's got a one-man booth.
See, that's
You can
funny.
look it all up. It's all Googleable. Is that right?
Googleable.
Yes.
Sure, I think I will look that up. All right, Jerry's back today, so
that's
we will.
great.
Yes, we will
Got
get
some happiness in the room then this morning.
100%, and we won't have to criticize the updates like we did yesterday with CeeLo because Jerry's got it on lockdown.
So I have to tell you now, like this past week, we played a bunch of golf, right? Well, I don't know how much. You probably didn't play as much as I did, but I did play, and I told the Jerry Recco story to everybody that he almost killed himself in front of his father and his sons by smashing himself in the face with a ball that he hit off a tree, and how epic of a death that would be, and how that would be something that we would all talk about forever.
Yeah.
Like that wouldn't be something that where a guy dies and then you don't talk about him anymore. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And to me, that would have been just what a way to go. What a way to go.
Well, luckily he's still alive for us.
Do you know how
luckily.
many people were absolutely crying, laughing at that story?
Oh, well, I'm sure. I mean,
but
that's
they
what we...
also understood where I was coming from, saying that would have been an epic death.
It would have been. Yeah.
The kids would have been there. His father would have been there. They were celebrating Father's Day, and he smashed a ball into a tree, and he came back and hit him 100 miles an hour right between the eyes. I mean, I'd be like in the old folks' home, just telling people that. I used to work with a guy by the name of Jerry Recco. And he hit himself in the face with a golf ball, killed himself in front of his kids and his father celebrating Father's Day. I mean, that is like a great story.
It's not a great story, man.
Would have been an amazing way to go.
Yeah, but it would not have been a great story.
But you know when I say great, I don't mean great in the sense that it's a happy, great story. It's just a great tale that would last forever.
Man, there's something about you and your friends and tragedy that you root for because you're talking about Jerry and this epic death. And remember the time that your friend got into a car accident and you said if it was 1 inch the other way, that we'd be attending a headless funeral?
Yes. Do you know who that was?
I know it was Joe G. Yeah. We would have been at a headless funeral.
Yes.
Come on.
That would have been another unbelievable story that we would have never forgotten about.
Yeah, we would have never forgotten about it. We'd try to forget about it because it's horrible.
It is horrible, I understand. And Jerry is right when he talks about death.
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
yeah.
You're here one day, you're gone the next. Nobody cares. We're here for, a speck of a second or something, whatever the hell he says.
Sure.
But it is, when you take what he says about it and then you apply it to him possibly dying the way that he would have died, that's epic.
Yeah. No, as I mentioned
sorry.
before, it would have been like our program director who's vegan, Spike Eskin, getting run over by a boar's head truck. It's just the irony would have been too much for us to handle. You know?
Yeah, but, I mean, I almost got run over by a bike this morning coming into the building.
Again?
Yeah, I didn't see the guy. And he was all ticked off, and he was going like 35 miles an hour. Hey! I'm like, oh, jeez. It's early. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that's going to happen to you.
Screaming in the bike lane. Now, he was going the right way, so it was my fault for not looking to my left.
Yeah, I think that would have been an epic death for you if you'd been run over by a cyclist because you like to ride a bike all the time and the bike tour and everything else.
And I bitch and complain about bikers going the wrong way.
That
that would be like akin to Jerry
epic
dying
death.
after getting hit with a golf ball in his face.
Epic death.
Epic.
All right, Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports and Network. We will talk to Jerry coming up in just a couple of minutes. Just getting started on this Tuesday morning. Boomer's got something for you, and then we'll come right back right after this.
You are kind of creative. Maybe you could come up with the back page of the Post in regards to Jerry's unfortunate accident, if in fact it did happen.
You think he'd make the back page?
He'd have to,
No.
There would have to be some sort of
It would be
headline.
a story in there, but I don't think a headline.
Right? 4? Do you yell 4 for yourself?